any given day was 50,000 homes on the market in Florida. We are 16 times our average inventory. So that would then not surprise you that 5 years ago, when the average price selling in Florida was $258,000, 16% above the national average, many of you in this room came to Tallahassee and said our number one priority is affordable housing, workforce housing. Well, what a difference 5 years has made. We went from a $258,000 average price to last month, $121,000. From 18% above the national average to 23% below the national average. So now we have 23% of all homes in Florida in foreclosure or significantly past due on a mortgage, 46% of our mortgages underwater. In 2009, only 25% of the financial institutions in Florida were profitable. It circles back to the question, why is no credit available? It can come as no surprise that the economy, with no diversity, or very little diversity, that in international recession, when those that could not come buy the second home, come enjoy our hospitality, were unable to be with us and unable to spend a dollar with us. And this is the challenge we face. So what will it be? And I know there are those of you in this room who are working so hard, your local business development boards, your chambers, our county commissioners, our city council members, support these ideas. Right now, it is about getting people back to work. What tax incentives, what tax breaks, what permitting expediting we can do, what impact fees can we reduce. Let's get some things moving, but that's only near term. Your discussion, your charge, is our long-term view. And are we willing to create and commit ourselves to the infrastructure necessary for that reset that is taking place all around the globe? Will we be the player? And that is what you're guiding us on. That we're establishing here, and President Ginchap, it is so good to see you. What you are building, without a message, without a link, without a call to action, what you're developing, what you have developed and committing ourselves that we would have fun, that we would build in Central Florida, a medical city, that we would say, why don't we in the brand new medical school, without direction from Tallahassee or government, that just the dean of medical school would decide, let's see if the business community and generous people in this community would be willing to give a free ride to the greatest minds and the brightest minds in the country to come here and help establish the future of this medical school. And you did it. That is our future. Will we be that place? So however you're looking around at it, whether or not it's going to be built on security technology, defense technology, whether or not it's going to be in the life sciences, whether or not it will be renewable energies, making the most of existing energy resources, it's still going to come down, will we commit to the infrastructure of extraordinary pre-K learning, K through 12 learning, in an outstanding state college and university system? I know that is your charge back to me in the precious role I get to hold for you at this moment as being a member of your cabinet. And I hear it loud and clear. Long term, our prosperity, our ability, when we look at just one chart, is it average wage, is it unemployment? Look higher. Average wage presses up because of what we are offering in the marketplace. And what we are offering in the marketplace is going to be what we have set our sights to. Venture capital follows intellectual capital. You just can't chart that line item. It's what are we doing to get it? Will we commercialize these things at our great universities so that we don't only research them, we manufacture them, we commercialize them? This can be us. I do have to just pause for a moment because as you in this community know the individuals by name who have laid the foundations for what you were doing for all the Florida. There are people who did that for me, and I just have to take a moment. If you believe we've been on the path to creating a more attractive business climate, if you believe we have been on the path of believing in entrepreneurs in this state, again, there is a man in the room we need to say thank you to. He was the Speaker of the Florida House. He was an entrepreneur. He went to Tallahassee to do a little bit for his community, and his fellow members of the House called upon him to lead in the most difficult 2 years the state has ever known financially. And I just want to recognize Speaker Larry Creedle. Speaker Creedle, where are you? I think he's back. Speaking of credit, he reminds me as a banker many years ago in Ocala, Florida, that I made him my first loan, a $300 loan, so that he could buy his wife a sewing machine. It's a true story. I want you to know he paid it back early in full. There's another individual that I know was in the room earlier, but she may have had to step out, and that is the person who I've had the privilege of following in this role as CFO. And I want you to know there was nothing about the CFO that was in the ditch or on the side. It is running smoothly and efficiently and effectively. And it is out to watch your dollars. It is out to invest your money wisely. Great return. And that is our Chief Financial Officer, Alex Sink. I don't know if Alex is back in the room or not, but if she is, I wanted to say thank you, Alex, for So I know it was only a brief invitation to be with you today, but I wanted to accept on behalf of the 18 million other Floridians that would be cheering for your success. Your sense of urgency, that it can't wait, that it must be done now, that there is no time to waste. Companion with a commitment to resolve, that you will not quit or give in, that you will not find compromise that just gets something accomplished. It has to be big and it has to be bold, and it does have to be now. But you're laying the foundation that what you can accomplish in the next 10 to 15 years will define us for the next 100 years. Just as people clearing off some pines, selling some land down in a place that would soon be known as Broward County 100 years ago. But yours can be more enduring. Our gift can be not just a place to come and find respite, not just a place to retire to, though those be valuable. But why don't we decide our gift will be the curing of cancer? Why don't we decide our gift will be a renewable energy source, not dependent on international dislocation of our money? Why don't we decide that? And if I just might, in closing, take you back to the very beginning, at 3:47 today is a spectacular event of human ingenuity, innovation, commitment, resolve, commitment to a longer-term view. And I have a favorite movie. It was Apollo 13. But I'm not going to quote you the line that failure is not an option. I think you're familiar with that one. There's another line that's often very good, too. But every time I see the movie, I'm reminded about political power, and I've always wondered why. They say, Houston, we have a problem. They should have said, Cape Canaveral, we have a problem. That's beside the point. There was a line in the movie that's more profound, and it was very early on, and if you ever saw it, you remember Tom Hanks playing the part of Jim Lovell, has all those fellow astronauts and their family in his house to watch Apollo 11 land on the moon and have Neil Armstrong come down and step on the moon. And there's a scene where he's watching it and they're kidding around, waving him off. He steps down on the moon, and it breaks away to all the commentary still being shown on the movie. Walter Cronkite wiping tears out of his eyes. Speaking in terms that this was a miracle. This is a miracle. And then later, Lovell is cleaning up the backyard. He sits down on a lawn chair and he looks up at the moon. And his spouse is sitting beside him. And he says something that is true to us now. He was perplexed by what was being said on television. That somehow this was a miracle. No. People had committed to something for the long haul, bold as it was, knowing that that kind of pioneering would change the world, as it did. But to say it was a miracle is to somehow discount all that resolve and all that courage, all that perseverance, all the intellect that had to be put in, all the people that got knocked down but got up, all the tragedy. And he simply said, it wasn't a miracle. We just decided to go.